Okay, welcome to Inside Out, Mental Health at Work and in Life, where we explore why our workplaces feel the way they do and what it takes to build cultures that support genuine well-being. So before we get into the conversation, Louis, could you introduce yourself and share a little bit about the work you do, and then we'll carry on with this topic.
Hello, good morning, Catherine, and thank you so much for this invitation, which is a great opportunity. I am a social scientist. I work at the University of Edinburgh. Currently, I am part of the School of Health in Social Science. And the research we are delivering right now relates to how we can use the urban green, so gardens, parks, forests, and blue space, such as the canal, rivers, or even the sea, how we can use both these natural and built infrastructures to promote health and well-being. So I like to see myself as a relational researcher. So it is not about extracting. It is about what we can build together with the ones that we research with. And I have been at the University of Edinburgh for the last, I lost the count, I think that 11 years through my PhD journey and early career postdoctoral research fellow. And I think that right now I am at the late stage of the early career researcher, and I am trying to find also my pathway through the future as I become more, senior in this environment. That's me.
That's great, Louis. Excellent, and that's exactly the thing. Your kind of current and your future ties in with this very topic we're talking about, particularly in the workplace. So, I'd love to hear your view on the kind of first aspect of what we're thinking about the workplace. So, what do you think about a mentally healthier workplace? What does that actually look like in practice?
Yeah, that is a great question and a big one. I think that right now there is a lot of projects and policies put in place by organizations such as University of Edinburgh, trying to tackle, for instance, inequalities. But for me, one fundamental question is that mental health problems are not visible as many other illnesses and disease, right? It's something that is really locked inside the individuals. Therefore, is not visible. Just to give an example, if we have a cut in one of our fingers, we can see the size of the cut is bleeding. We can take care of it a couple of days and we see that it's healing. So it's something that is visible. Mental illness is not that visible. You cannot see the size of the cut. You cannot see if it's bleeding or not. And you cannot see if it is healing well, right? And because these things are not that visible, they tend to go unnoticed. They tend to not to be taken into consideration when policies are designed. And mainly in the day-to-day basis and amongst colleagues, it is always trick to try and to find where someone is and how you can help. And also the person suffering from it, sometimes he feels so compressed in this inner side that is hard to speak about it and to let people see what is going on. There is a lot of things going on. I think that a critical one is because we live in a shame culture where people feel ashamed of talking about some things because society don't want to embrace people that suffer from these things and put them on the fringe. You see, so I think it's related to visibility and invisibility. That is the kind of the big dichotomy between the two dimensions, and which needs to be put more visible for everyone.
So, do you think we need to think about this differently because of that kind of visibility that's not there?
Yeah, definitely. We need to keep talking about it, to make more instruments available, to develop more awareness, so we can understand that these things happen. So, for instance, a week ago, I did a very simple introductory course to relates to teaching and how we can try and tackle people suffering from divergent problems, you see. And there is a lot of things that you can do, even if you don't know that it exists there or not, because it's not visible, right? But because you act in anticipation, for instance, universal design. If you are designing a PowerPoint presentation and in your PowerPoint presentation, you include some techniques for potential divergent people, even those that are not divergent, they will end up beneficiating from it because it's accessible to them also. So I think that acting in anticipation from a potential scenario that you cannot see it, it really helps you to start this dialogue that does not exist.
Yeah, but nicely kind of leads me on to, where do you kind of see organizations getting stuck right now with this?
Okay, that is another interesting question. I think that it relates to time. It relates to time, and it relates to other factors such as economic factors. Let me try to tie the two things together, economy and time. I think that we live in an environment, mainly in academia, right? But everything society-wide, it is really fast-paced. We need to deliver. And this urgency to deliver take us out of the path, out of the dimension where we should ground more often, and where it is needed more time. Okay, so my idea it is related to time. If we slow down the goals that we pursue in a daily basis in academia and other sectors of society, and we give more time to bring and to look to the others and try to understand where they are, I think that will give us the opportunity to start understanding that there is a need to put more instruments there to help us interacting with the ones that are experiencing this circumstance. I don't see this. I don't see any mental illness as a kind of something that negative. I don't think it's a negative thing. I think it has been always there. All of us, we have our personal traits. All of us, we have our own pace and dynamics. So we just need some time to understand that not everyone are really fast-paced. For instance, me, myself, I'm a very energetic person. And sometimes I understand that people don't have to follow my pace, right? They have their own pace. So it is me that needs to adjust to that reality in order to make this thing to happen. And this is a lot to do with the relational perspective I introduced to you just now. I will need to move to another room. See, I'm just adjusting myself to the reality.
That's okay.
My colleagues want to use that room. I'm moving to other space. So, yeah. Yes, we need to really to slow down our pace in order to accommodate the other needs. And when you start looking at a more relational perspective, which is not about you, it's about the other. I think we start to change the things and the dynamics.
Yeah, that's certainly what we see as well, that the pace of life, everything has speeded up. Even post-COVID, many people feel that it's even speeded up to a point where people are feeling they can't keep up, whatever pace they can go at. But there is something in there about kind of individual people individually kind of managing to do what they can do within their own abilities and as you say, pace and time. And I think that's what's difficult, because if we think about who's responsible then for being able to create the opportunity for us to slow down. And I think it ties in a little bit to the next question about what pressures or blind spots do you wish leaders paid more attention to? And the thing within that is that actually, if the pace and this and everything else is driven at the top, then does the top also need to be responsible for trying to slow the environment for everyone else down?
Yes, I totally agree with that perspective. And for instance, if I look to academia, where I'm based, and I think that the pressure is a lot to do with the outputs, right? And for
Yeah.
me, I think that there needs to be a shift towards outcomes. It
Mm,
is not about the quantity of what we do. It is about the quality and what we have changed. It does not need to be uh, 500, 1,000, a million people in one go.
mhm,
It might be just one person. It might be just one smile a
mm.
day.
Yeah.
And I think that shifting towards an outcome and not output, it helps us to slow down a little bit. And in the academia, when we look from the top and the dynamics of the top down, I think that that would be a critical way of change the scenes. For instance, funders, institutes trying to look more at outcomes and not to outputs. Therefore, the results of a research trajectory, it's more about what we have achieved with the other and not
Mhm,
about how many ref documents has been produced in order
mhm.
to showcase the impact of a research.
And do you think kind of leaders, those at the top and funders, do you think they need to be regularly reminded of this so that we don't slip back into the output? Because I think that the output factor has been such a big part of the workplace for such a long time that it's easy to slip back into that, isn't it?
Yes, yes, definitely. There is a relation with the top down and bottom up approach,
Mhm,
right? The bottom up is very organic and fluid and is in permanent change. Sometimes the top down needs to have kind of straight lines in order to tackle this fluidity, right? But the fluidity is really important. Otherwise, life it's not one line.
mhm,
You see, life is very diffuse. Right? Things are not black and white. And
mhm.
I think it is the opportunity for us to navigate the gray area where we really have the potential to change things and to grow.
Yeah.
And I think that this perspective I said a minutes ago of the universal design, this is things that really need to be in the funder side and in the ones on the top,
Yeah.
senior managers, and understanding that if we direct research and results of a company, if we are talking about industry outside universities environment, if we start to look at this more in the outcome perspective, we will address more often mental illness problems and probably indirectly start to addressing them.
Yeah. 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 So that'll just happen as a result of changing the way we do what we do ultimately, won't it? So moving on to kind of the mental health and how has your experience shaped the way you think about mental health at work?
I think that over the last 5 years, he has changed substantially how I see this. It is more visible into my eyes now. Not that I can see from an individual level. It's more present because I think that there is a need to consider the possibility of this someone that you interact with in your daily base might
Mhm.
find himself in that circumstance. So, but because I don't have the power to guess, I think that by behaving in the given way, I will have the opportunity to indirectly to be addressing this thing. And to be honest, I found myself much more comfortable in my skin, behaving in this way,
Yeah.
because I know that behaving this day in a daily basis, I might have the chance of helping someone.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, the effect and impact you can have on people is definitely, can be behavioral and very subtle. It's the small things that people notice as well, and yeah, I think the way
Yeah,
we go about our day to day work and outside of work definitely
yeah,
has an influence on
yeah,
others.
yeah. For instance, it has to do with self-awareness and consciousness. So who I am, where I am right now, and whom am I interacting and engaging, and this makes me to be more kind of attuned to visual cues.
Hmm.
And that is really important. You can see in the face of the person if it is following you the same speed, or if it's making sense, or if it's not making sense. I
Hmm.
think that this visual contact and the way you try to understand the other body language, all this is part of the package that needs to be taken into consideration as we move along.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
look, I'm conscious that I affect more than one person probably per day in the way I tend to interact. Not all of, I would love to change all of them, but that is not possible. But
Yeah.
believe me, if I affect just one person, and this one person affect another person, so it will be three of us, because I also beneficiate from it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think so. I was telling a friend a few days, a colleague actually, a few days ago, that I collect smiles. And they say, "Wow, Luis, you collect smiles?" Yes, I collect smiles because smile is a great thing. It has the power to change people's days.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you collect smile? I said, normally, I'm an early bird. I love to run. I go for my run. And sometimes before I finish my run, I have already collected 3 or 5 smiles. And
Mhm.
my count is until then, 10 of them will make my day to change dramatically. So, and how that happened, I don't know, sometimes crossing the person running, I just say greetings, good morning, and we smile each other,
Mhm.
you see? And later on, I remember that, okay, oh, this was a nice smile. And I smile again. And
Yeah.
someone see me smile, will smile. So it's kind of cascading throughout. And I think that more smiles are needed in society. If everyone are smiling, people will be more synchronized with smiles and therefore will be positively contaminated by the power of
Mhm.
smile. And imagine the whole society smiling. I think that even if it is faking, it would be amazing because it bring the pressure down.
Yeah. I think you've touched on a really important point there as we are in more of an area of isolation, loneliness, people not making as much eye contact in the street or on public transport, there's less of that. I get a sense of that. And I think also there's a difference between seasons. I think there's a lot more smiling and maybe greetings during the summer than there is in the winter, potentially.
I
Because,
think
you know,
the light plays a great role. So we have more light during the summer than during the winter. It might play, but I see this in a more expanded time frame. So I would say it is an era. So right now we live in a digital era. Look, you'll find people more and more and more and more stuck with the eyes in the screen, in the mobile phones, in the streets, and with earplugs and isolating themselves from visual contact with the society. And we forget that people forget the meaning of society. Society, it is me and you interacting. That is society. It is us coming together, right? I'm a microsociologist, so I really believe in the symbolic power of the interaction, right? And if we keep our eyes stuck in the mobile phone, on the screens, and with the earplugs, we are in fact undoing society,
yes,
not doing society.
yeah,
You see, and people are not aware of this. And of course, it has to do with the fast pace of the times that we live with. So any 5 minutes available, this time it is used for, okay, to communicate with someone, all right, there is the positive side of it. I might use these 5 minutes to connect with my mom that is back in other country, and use because it shorten the distance and the time, bring us close. But the question is that how much of these 5 minutes that we have available during the day, we make a use of it in the ways that is not just by using technology to isolate ourselves. I think it needs to be balanced.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a really, really important message for everyone listening to this is I love the smile thing, absolutely. And for everyone, if you can make one person smile each day, it's about intention.
Yes.
Having that intention at the start of your day, thinking about what you're going to do to try and improve and create the space for people to come away from their devices, come out of their shell a little bit more and have that because I'm from pre-digital era and I remember so many more interactions historically when I was younger than I would have now. And I miss that. I must admit, I miss that kind of, nod in the street and the hello and the chat at the bus stop. It just seems to, as you say, people with headphones and stuck in digital, they feel you're standing there looking around thinking, okay, I'll just speak to maybe that bird, that pigeon.
Yeah.
Go and
Yeah.
speak to that pigeon on the ground, So yeah, yeah, you heard it here. Share your smiles, collect your smiles. Absolutely. Which leads
Yeah.
really nicely onto if you could change one thing that would improve people's daily working lives and lives generally, what would it be? Would it be the smile or would it be?
Yes, I think that I preempt your question with my perspective. Definitely,
Yeah.
it would be true to smile. Yeah, if you can make someone to smile, it is used as strategy. Some people starting kind of job interviews with a funny fact. Sometimes you break the ice in a workshop with bringing a funny fact into to it, right? It really helps to bring the kind of tension down, right? And the tension that comes with the need, we have to get this done. But the fact is that getting this done, it is closer if you do it with someone else than just yourself alone. You see,
Yeah.
and this need to bring the other one into the journey with you that is missing there. It is how do I really bring to, but it's also we live in a very selfish society. I don't have any hesitation to say it, right? It is all about me, where I want to achieve, and it is all about what I can take and not what I can give. And I think that you need to have this shift around. You see, it's only possible for you to harvest if you have seed.
Yes.
If you don't have seeded anything, there is no chance. So here the idea of the smiles, for me, it's 10 a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now
We
it is
are we are very
of,
in individualism society, definitely, and it's
yeah,
driven by other factors as well. But yes, you're absolutely right. Is how do we rebuild how do we rebuild connections in some way that feels comfortable because again generationally that level of what community and what collaboration and doing something with someone else means is different generationally as well, so younger people are kind of thinking I just want to go on and do stuff and get on and do things on my own, and it's how do we help them value coming
yeah,
together as well
yeah,
as having the space. I mean, I think there's a balance. There's a balance where you want your own time or you want to do something on your own, but there's also that need to actually do things with others as well on a kind of equal
yeah.
basis. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this shift is critical in our society right now. The shift toward, for instance, simple as to think, am I capable of being funny? Am I capable of seeing something funny out there?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this will rebalance uh, uh, the negative aspect that exists in our society because if you turn the TV every day, you will see that everything that comes into your house or towards you, it has a negative side of it. How things are locally or globally,
Yeah.
right? For different kind of reasons. There is war, there is the impact of climate change, there is so many negative things. But at the same time, if you rethink your role and you say, am I capable of saying something funny, or something fun, or to see something funny? I think it will change your brain, your
Mm-hmm.
mind to a synchronism with the funny side of life. That is really important for us. It's not easier to be fun and to put funny circumstance activities within a given context. It requires some strategy, but the outcome of it, it's really important, and it
Yeah.
gets us closer to something that also has been lost. That is the greater good.
Yeah.
I think people have lost this out of sight. What is the greater good? If
Yeah.
you go and do a survey and start asking people, what is the greater good?
Yeah.
People don't know even that such thing exists. What
Mm.
is the greater good? You see, and for
I think
me,
that's the thing. I mean, the complexity of life now has created, yeah, has created that inability to kind of understand why am I doing what I'm doing? Why am I doing what I'm doing? Where's my life going? What am I doing? Particularly younger people with climate anxiety, they're questioning what is the future of the planet and everything else. So yeah, what is the greater good? And it actually leads me really nicely on to kind of just final thoughts on, given the kind of current landscape that is, yeah, I think we just acknowledge that it's complex, it's challenging, people are finding things difficult. What still gives you hope?
that word, hope, is the one that gives me hope. You see, it's funny. I can try and explain this because you touch in a very important word for me. It's about hope.
Mm,
It is about hope, and I think it starts in each of us to hope that we can do better. And if I can do better, definitely I will be closer to this idea of the greater good.
mm, mhm,
Because the greater good, by the end of the journey, it's a collection of good things that we do. And if each of us, we are capable of delivering one good thing a day, it will put us as humanity closer to the greater good. And I think that this is the thing that has been lost of sight, right?
mm,
Am I capable of doing something that is really good? Uh,
mhm,
uh, um, but then you question what is really good. A
mm,
smile again, it's
mhm.
really good, and it is a simple thing. It's free. You don't have to pay tax to smile. You see,
No.
it's free, and
Yeah.
it really has the power to cascade and to contaminate and to synchronize other people with the power of the smile, and that put us closer to the greater good, which, from my perspective, is about happiness.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And also thinking at the end of the day, we also kind of encourage people to think, what did I do today? That did I miss something? Did I forget to do something good today? So it's that intention in the morning when you're up and about, and then that reflection at the end of the day to remind yourself of what you did that
Yeah.
day, which can then help you move into the next day.
Yeah, yeah, that is a very important thing. For instance, that is one topic that I think, for instance, in primary schools and secondary schools, it should be compulsory. It is this intentionality when I wake up. What what is the good thing that I am aiming for today,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And you close your day by reflecting, have I achieved?
Yeah.
And you can extrapolate from the future. What's going to happen to this person that I have influenced in this positive way, and
Mhm.
how this has influenced me. Do I feel good? Do I feel happy? Yes. And it will help you to sleep better. You, a person, anyone. And sleeping is another problem in society, another invisible problem that's kind of
A big
cascading the negative
yeah.
loop, right? But if you, I bet that if you go sleep and you reflect and you say, yeah, I made this person smile, and probably this person has made another person to smile. I can stop there. I'm happy. I
Yeah.
have contributed for a positive day.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep it simple. Yeah.
Yeah, and achievable.
And achievable, yes, absolutely. Yeah, simple, achievable, doable. Again, we talked about the pace and the fast pace of how we're living and where we fit these things in. And these are not extras. These are part of and parcel of how we go about our day,
Yeah,
rather than
yeah.
thinking of it as a
And there
thing.
is another important thing that I have not mentioned here, which is really important. It seems that now exists an idea that we are machines to do always well, which
Yes.
is a lie. It's not like that, right? We don't have to permanently be pursuing doing well, right? Because doing well, it is the outcome of doing a few times wrong, you
Hmm.
see?
Hmm.
But you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it, you keep doing it until you get it right. That is part of the journey. For instance, for me, when I teach, the relationship I develop with the young students and academics, it's the principle that is not yet, right? So it's not yet done. Keep working on it and you will get there,
Yeah.
right? So this really encourages the person to pursue things, but to cut it in chunks that you can deal with. The idea of looking, I'm going to be a successful man in the future and I will be rich. That is one of the metaphors for the greater good. It's to be rich in the future, right?
Yeah.
These bring a lot of things in the present,
Hmm.
right? That you cannot handle
Yeah.
because it's too big. Can
Yeah.
I hold it in the two hands? No, it's not something that you can hold. So try to imagine a future that you can hold in two hands,
Yeah.
right? And these bring it closer to you and it's much more achievable.
Mm.
So I think that this relation also needs to be taken into consideration.
Yeah. Well, that's great, Louis. That's a great conversation and great chat about this topic, and all very relevant. Thank you very much for being on this episode with me. And yeah, thanks very much.